Just to be clear, the Nazis could have been right in their actions, in your view.
That implies that right is an actual thing. I don't believe you can determine a truth value from a moral claim.
So the Nazis were not objectively evil.
Yeah, I've said that like 4 times. Like, yeah, you can't derive objective moral statements from like things.
Charlie Kirk destroys college student on the debate over whether morality is objective or subjective. Guys, we're gonna see a really great video on that, but first, please make sure you like our video, comment, and subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. Why should you subscribe, you might ask? Well, my friends, if you subscribe, we can keep bringing these great and fantastic, awesome videos for you, and hopefully get to learn more about how to effectively defend conservative positions. All right, guys, let's get into the video.
Hello. Yeah, so I've seen you like talk a lot about like objective morality. And my big question is, it feels like you can make good statements and bad statements without referencing some kind of like moral book. So I can say like something is good, right? I had a good day today, and it doesn't really feel like I need to reference religion for that. So can you explain to me why you think we need to have some kind of absolute standard for like morality?
Excellent question. It's really good. If you say you have a good day, are you describing the experience you had, or was it morally a good day?
So yeah, it would be a good day, so I can like narrow it.
So there's a very simple answer to this kid's question. Why should we have an objective morality? Why should we have a sense of what's right and wrong? Easy. If we want to have a decent society, we have to agree on what good and proper morals are. Look at politics, for instance. Politics can be simply defined as a battle over power. That's really all it is at its most simple level. Well, if someone's going to have power, who should it be? Should it be somebody who's pushing morally good and just and correct views, or somebody who's pushing the opposite, something wicked, something sinister? This kind of thing can be complicated in a lot of ways, but it's very simple at its core. If you want to have a decent society, you have to have a moral people. Why do you have to have moral people? Because those moral people will help put those rules of society in place.
More, I guess. Or I can ask, I guess, like a better question. So if I don't have religion, right? Let's say I am an atheist or something, and I were to go up to, I find like 2 books. One's the Quran, and then one is the Bible. And I read both of them, and then I have a feeling of preference towards one or the other. That makes me feel like morality probably isn't objective, because I read 2 moral codes. I didn't have one before, and then I derived one after reading it.
But one is true.
Well, yeah, obviously if you go in with the presupposition that one is true. But
so
like,
let's play this out. Not sorry to interrupt. If I'm on an island, and let's just demystify part of this, and there's the Bible, and then there's Lord of the Rings, and I end up believing in one of those, which is true?
Well, what's true is just what corresponds with reality. We're talking about...
I agree. So which one has evidence, and when applied in the natural world actually shows a flourishing people in society and a way to live? Because you would agree, at least out of 8 out of 10 of the 10 commandments, they're pretty good rules for life,
no,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
Of course, yes.
No, but the thing that I'm talking about doesn't have to do with whether or not Christianity is good or bad, or whether I agree with most of... Yeah, it's just regarding like... Yeah, one can be true, but even if one is true, it doesn't really feel like I'm influenced in terms of what I feel is good or bad, because obviously, there are people who are Muslim who have read, the Bible and still are more persuaded by Islam.
No, of course. I mean, you could be persuaded by anything, right? That doesn't... I believe that there is a transcendent way of living. I call that the Bible, right? And I believe it's the perfect catalog from creation to the end of the world.
Amen.
You don't have to agree with that. I'm talking strictly from a moral sense. So let's just ask a separate question, which is, do you think people are naturally, outside of, religious teaching, good or not so good? The nature of humanity.
The nature. I wouldn't be comfortable making a statement about it.
Fair enough, and I appreciate that. So we believe, as Christians or those in the space, human beings are pretty awful, okay? That we're broken, that we're sinful, that we fall short of the glory of God, and that we need to teach people how to be good. A common left-wing belief is that human beings are actually awesome, and they're terrific, and the reason why things are not so good is because of capitalism or the patriarchy or feminism or whatever. So you're asking a question of, why do we need objective morality? Well, or what specifically?
Yeah, so not necessarily why we need objective morality, but you seem to be, because obviously I don't believe that it's a thing, but you seem to make a claim that
do you believe that absolutely?
No.
Okay, good. But you're consistent.
Yeah, the the big thing is for me, even if I have a God, there is no thing telling me, like, it's just like the is-ought problem, right? That's like my big contention, right? How am I ever going to derive a claim about what I should do from only statements about the nature of being?
Got it. So you would believe murder is wrong?
Yeah.
Why do you believe that?
Because in its definition, it says it's wrong, right? It's wrong killing of somebody, or at least that's my understanding of it.
Okay, so for example, you go to an African village, happens all the time. They leave a full-born baby by the fire. They don't want it. They discard it. Happens tons of times. Any missionary will tell you that. They just discard babies. Why? They don't believe it's wrong. It's just in their code and custom. No one feels bad about it. Just discard kids you don't want. Are they wrong?
For me, yeah, they're wrong. Yeah. It's a bullet I do have to bite for my worldview.
Hold on. Are they objectively wrong? Is it objective?
No. Because I don't believe in objective morality, so that can apply to any statement.
It's not objectively wrong to leave a full-born baby by the fire and just say, you're on your own, have a nice life.
Well, yeah, I'm calling into question objective morality, so I obviously have to.
No, I know. I'm just trying to make you hear back how insane what you are saying.
Well, you're making a claim about the objectivity of it.
No, I know.
Obviously, I think it's wrong.
Let's get more graphic. So you put 1,000 Jews in a gas chamber, and the Nazis thought what they were doing was good, and they pressed the button. Were they right or were they wrong in gassing millions of Jews?
Objectively, you can't, when you say, is it objectively wrong? Hold on, wait. If you say it's objectively wrong, you're implying that you can derive a truth value from it. And I don't think you can. So I don't think that you can make a true statement regarding whether something's good or bad.
Got it. So
it's such an incoherent worldview. If there's no objective right or wrong, well then I guess objectivity just doesn't exist to start with. There's that lamp over there. It's not objectively real because, well, what if someone else doesn't think it's a lamp? What if they think something different? That is the logical conclusion of what this guy is arguing, because there's no absolute, there's no black and white. Everything is in a gray, subjective area. Well then, by extension, essentially nothing exists. It doesn't make any sense.
Just to be clear, the Nazis could have been right in their actions, in your view.
That implies that right is an actual thing. I don't believe you can determine a truth value from a moral claim.
So the Nazis were not objectively evil.
Yeah, I've said that like 4 times. You can't derive objective moral statements from things.
I appreciate that kid is honest about his viewpoints. As you can see right there, he quite literally said that he doesn't believe human rights exist. Well, in that case, his belief leads to chaos and destruction. There's no other way to put it. If you don't believe that right and wrong exist, well, then how do you even have a functional society? It doesn't even make sense. How are you going to determine whether murder is right or wrong? I'm sure that kid would counter, well, I think it's wrong. You can just tell. Yeah, but according to who? By whose standard? You see how messy this gets? And if you want an example of this, well, just look at the case study of modern America and the West at large. I can go through a myriad of examples, but one that comes to mind quite quickly is this crazy gender ideology we're dealing with. We have people quite literally arguing that you need to put kids through a so-called gender transition in order to make their lives better. They haven't even gone through puberty yet. They don't even know who they are. It's obviously wicked to do that kind of thing to them, but people will seriously argue with that. And then they'll say, you're evil. You are evil because you oppose it. That's what subjective morality is, and that's what it leads to. If we go off objective morality, whether that's based in God, the Bible, or some other thing, we can at least have a foundational truth of, well, this is wrong because X, and it doesn't matter what a person might say about it.
I'm not saying they're not wrong. They are wrong. Oh.
Well, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, I just want to make sure this is important, because what you are saying, and you're saying it very clearly, is that we look at the Holocaust and it's just a matter of opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem of being an atheist. You have to bite the bullet.
I respect your intellectual clarity, and I will say,
and obviously for clarity, I obviously think the Holocaust is wrong. So if anyone's questioning about that,
it's just your opinion. I believe that it's objectively wrong, no matter who you are or where you come from, because it transcends opinion. Do you think, last question, I appreciate your clarity on this, do you see how your view could result in a lot of dead people?
Well, I don't think my view is really I'm not making a claim that we should behave in a way.
No, you're making claims.
Well, I am making claims, yeah, but I'm not making a claim that we should behave in a certain way, or that we ought to not have Christianity or some kind of
I'm not saying that, but let me play this out, and I think you'll understand.
No, I understand, because you're going to say, well, there's all these bad things that could happen if people follow me.
Or that did happen. No, I'm not following you. If your view becomes a view of a country, and, for example, putting 1,000 Jews in a gas chamber is not deemed as objectively wrong, transcendent above anyone's opinion, then all of a sudden, what would prevent that evil thing from occurring and nobody questioning it?
Sure. So my main idea, I guess, with the worldview is I'm not making a claim again about how things should be. I'm making a claim that this is how things are. So within my worldview, this is all fine. You can have people agreeing that things are wrong. Generally, I think most people's moral intuitions will lead them to thinking that things like murder is wrong and stealing is wrong because it makes you feel bad, right?
No, well,
if I see somebody get hurt, that makes me feel bad. If you see somebody die, that makes you feel bad.
Yeah, the SS guards didn't feel bad when they killed Jews, and that's okay. But do you see where this might unravel into mass murder and societal chaos?
Yeah, that happens in the real world. I'm making a description about the way people derive their morals. I'm not saying how we should or shouldn't. I'm saying this is how you derive your morals. If you have two books there, the trueness or correspondence with reality has anything to do with your preference towards, one moral system or another.
Hold on. Or maybe the true one says, don't gas the Jews.
That would be,
murder.
That would be obviously.
Because God will judge you harshly.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe just hear me out. Maybe the true one says that life is good and that there is a creator who loves you.
But now what you're doing is you're just making claims about what you think. Obviously it would be awesome if I had him.
Kid says, now you're just making claims about what you think. Is that not what he's doing? His whole argument is hinged on, there's no objectivity. There's no objective good. There's no objective bad. Everything is subjective. But I think murder is wrong because, I just think it's bad. So when he does it, it's okay. But when Charlie does it, it's somehow inconsistent. And let's keep in mind, Charlie is the one who's not saying it's just based on what he thinks. Charlie is saying it's based on some kind of objective moral. In Charlie's case, he would argue it's God or the Bible who's determining those morals. So in reality, no, it's actually not only based on what Charlie thinks, but it is based on what the kid thinks with his own argument.
Code that everyone had to follow that agreed with
I know, if only a book existed.
Yeah, I know, if only. But
if only.
If only there was this amazing book.
Yeah, but my point is that
no, you're being super clear. I appreciate it.
Okay, yeah.
No, and you're the first person ever, to your credit, to answer the atheist not question clearly, which is that an atheist cannot objectively say that the Holocaust is wrong.
I'm arguing against objective, the idea that...
No, you're being... Usually there's some withering there. You went right into there.
Well, I can't go in here and, not bite the bullets of, what my argument implies.
We have clarity but not agreement. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
While it's apparent that the arguments made by that kid were kind of goofy and didn't really make sense or even hold up consistently despite his best efforts, I do want to say that he was very chill. He had a respectful conversation with Charlie, and we appreciate that here. We love that at Resist the Mainstream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you coming on. Please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked, what you want to see next. We'll see you all again soon. Thanks, and God bless.